Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcomed to this live streaming. Today, there is someone in Philadelphia named Asifullah. He wants to interview me for podcast. I do not know much about it, on various topics. The topics are so many. As a part of anxiety, he wants to find so many things. I will speak on the science of number, specifically number 9. I do not know how you can get connected to it directly, but I will request Asifullah, not Asif Dhar, to send me the recording if possible, so that I can post it on the Facebook page for listeners throughout to listen to it. Coming back to the continuing question, that most of the techniques that I speak of, they are body oriented. Why Tantra gives so much importance to the body? Now in this light, I am speaking on today when you are fighting with the vehicle, you lose the opportunity for transformation. Here by vehicle, which vehicle am I talking about? Is it the vehicle, different makes that you know about? No, everyone, your body is the vehicle. Body has different aspects. And when you start fighting with it, you start condemning with it, you lose the opportunity for transformation. There are traditions which are against sex, and thus they will be against the body. They are divided into lower and higher. Whereas in reality, lower and higher are the part of one synergistic harmony. You can take an example. Look at the wall in front of you. Is there anything lower and higher wall, lower wall and higher wall? Wall is one piece. It is only for certain purposes you use these words lower or higher. If you have to run the cameras, you do not put on the lower part of the wall, you put it on the higher part of the body of the wall, so that it can cover a wider distance. Higher have a greater visibility. The higher, when you reach higher, you have a clearer and better visibility. For example, something is happening on the street level. If you are on the street level, you will not get the clear and distinct view of what is happening. But if you go a little higher, let's say one step higher, you will get a better visibility than from the ground level. When you go still higher, you will, as you move higher and higher, you will get better and clearer visibility. That is why all those news reporters and photographers who are concerned with broadcasting and live event, they use something, a device that can, with that device, the photographer can move up and down. It is something like this. You would have seen on the road, the electricity commission people, workers, they use a device with which they stand up in that space. It has the controls. It can take them higher. It can take them further away from where the vehicle is parked. So higher you move, you get a clearer view. From that point of view, the higher and the lower have a greater significance. But as far as harmony is concerned, they are both connected to one another. Without your feet, you cannot walk from your bedroom to the kitchen area and prepare a cup of tea. So there has to be a coordination between the three things: legs, your hands, and your head. When there is a harmony between these, hand does not know how to make the tea. Feet does not know how to make the tea, but feet takes you to the kitchen area near the stove. It helps you to move between the spaces. Hand, you cannot use your feet to pick up the saucepan, put the water in it. It is your hands which will do that function. It is the hand which will light the stove. But all are under the influence of the mind. So that is why if you are concerned with transformation, you have to understand that there is synergistic harmony. Those traditions which are not against sex can only be friendly towards the body. Your body is the greatest mechanism. It converts everything into blood, and in the shortest possible time. You eat chicken, you eat ice cream, you eat vegetables, you eat any kind of food, Thai, Chinese, Indian, American, burger, Coke, everything it converts into the blood. Because food is not food when it is converted into blood. It nourishes the body. Just as all the other mechanisms in the car, in a vehicle, are important to continue the process, but it is the mixture of the gas and the air that helps in the combustion, and that combustion gives the energy for the vehicle to move. And you control this, you control the flow of the liquid, the gas, the mixture, gas and air, to accentuate, to increase in its flow using the accelerator in the vehicle. And when you have to stop, you have to use the brakes. But for directions, you have to use your hands. The direction cannot come with the feet because a steering wheel is used by the hands. And your brain, your mind knows the direction which way it has to move. So Tantra is absolutely friendly, and it says that body is sacred. Now, I was telling you, there is no factory Science has not developed any factory that can convert chicken into blood or ice cream into blood simultaneously. But your body converts everything that you consume, even alcohol. It converts into the blood a certain amount. So it is a great miracle of the God, great miracle. To condemn body is sacrilege. To say that body is impure or to say the body is sin is nonsense for Tantra. This is a very poisonous teaching which cannot help you to transcend. Tantra accepts the body, not only accepts, but it says body is holy, pure and innocent. You can use and you can make it a vehicle, a medium to go beyond. It helps even in going beyond. But if you are fighting with the body, you are lost. If you start fighting with it, you become more and more diseased. And if you go on fighting with it, you will miss every opportunity. Fighting is negative. It is destructive. Tantra is positive transformation. Do not fight with it. There is no need. It is as if you are sitting in the car and the car is capable of taking you to your destination, but you start fighting with the car. Then you cannot move because you are fighting with the vehicle. You keep on opening the door again and again, and vehicle cannot move if the door is open. You are fighting with the vehicle that has to be used, not fought against. And you will destroy the vehicle by your fight, and then it will be more and more difficult for you to move. Body is a beautiful vehicle, very mysterious, very complex. Use it, do not fight with it. If you fight, you create the problems. Body is a beautiful vehicle. It is mysterious. It is complex. It is a miracle. Use it. Do not fight with it. Help it. The moment you go against it, you are fighting against yourself. It is as if man wants to reach somewhere, but he is fighting with his legs and cuts them off. When your legs are cut off, can you move? Tantra says, know the body, know the secret of it, know the energies of it, and know how those energies can be transformed, how they can be moved and turned into different dimension. For example, sex is the energy of the body. What is sex? It is the energy of the body. Ordinarily, sex energy is just used for reproduction. Body creates another body. The process goes on. Biological utility of sex energy is only in reproduction. But that is one of its uses. And this is the lowest because animals also reproduce. No condemnation is implied, but it is the lowest. The same energy can do other creative acts as well. Reproduction is a basic creative act. You create something. That is why a woman feels a subtle well-being when she becomes a mother, because she has created something. Psychologists say that man cannot reproduce like a woman because man cannot become a mother. He feels a certain unease, and to destroy that unease or to overcome it, he goes on creating other things. He will paint. He will do something in which he becomes a creator, in which he becomes a mother. That is one of the reasons why women are less creative and men are more creative. Because women have a natural dimension in which to be creative. They become mothers and they have a fulfillment, an easy fulfillment. A deep biological creativity is felt. But man lacks that and feels somewhere an imbalance within. He wants to create. So he will substitute something. He will paint, he will sing, he will dance, he will do something in which he also becomes a mother. Sex energy, psychologists say now, and Tantra has always been saying that, is always the source of creation. Sex is the source of creation. So it happens that a painter is really deep in his creation. He may forget sex completely. When a poet is very involved with his poetry, he will forget sex completely. He need not force any kind of celibacy upon himself. Only monks, the non-creative monks, whether it is Christian or Buddhist or any other living in a monastery, need to force celibacy, because if you are creative, the same energy will move through the sex into the act of creation. You can forget it completely, and there is no need to make any effort to forget it, because forgetting that energy is impossible. You can make any effort to forget anything, because the very effort to make it, with the very effort will make you remember it again and again. This is futile. It is suicidal. You cannot forget anything. You can transform only. That is why those who force themselves into celibacy become simply become cerebral sex perverse. Then sex revolves in the mind. The whole thing goes in the mind, moves away from the body, and that is worse, because then the mind becomes totally mad. Any creativity will help sex to disappear. Remember, any activity, any creativity will help sex to disappear. Tantra says, if you move into meditation, sex will disappear completely. It can disappear completely. The whole energy is being absorbed at higher centers, and your body has many centers. Sex is one of the centers, and it is the lowest. And that's where you exist. The more energy moves higher, the more higher center begins to flower. When the same energy comes to the heart center, it becomes love. When it reaches still higher, new dimensions, new experiences begin to flower. And when the same energy reaches the highest, at the last peak of the body, it has reached that which Tantra calls Sahasrar. Sahasrar means 1,000 petal. This is the last chakra in the head. It is through this you are connected to the cosmos. Sex is the lowest center. Sahasrar or 1,000 petal center is the highest. Between these two, the sex energy moves. It can be released from any center, from sex center. When it is released from the sex center, you become a cause to reproduce someone else. When the same energy reaches 1,000 petal center from the head into the cosmos, for the first time you give birth to yourself. The individual consciousness has merged into the cosmic consciousness. It is also reproduction. You are giving birth to yourself, but it is not biological. A mother gives birth to herself when she bears the child for the first time, but this happens through the act of biology. Then it is a spiritual, when you create yourself, it is a spiritual reproduction. You are reborn. This is what it is called. The first birth is the biological birth. The second birth is the spiritual birth. This is why it is known as Dvij, twice born. Now he has given himself a new birth. The same energy has moved. Tantra has no condemnation, only secret technique of how to transform. That is why Tantra talks so much about the body. It is needed. Body has to be understood, and you can start only from where you are, nowhere else. This is the end of the second question. I will take another question tomorrow. It is asked that love can make you free, but ordinarily it is observed that love becomes attachment, and instead of freeing us, it makes us more and more bound So what are the techniques to achieve the freedom? Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day. The talk with this person, Asifullah, will begin at 10:30 for 1 hour. It will be recorded, and I will try to see that if I can get a link or a recording so I can make it available for others. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.